What happens when a cynical, self-centered television executive undergoes a modern-day transformation after being visited by three eccentric ghosts on Christmas Eve?
You get a square shot in the dick.
Find out next on Trees in Space. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Trees in Space, the show where we watch and review movies of every genre, and we tell you what the fans thought, what the critics thought, and what we think. Was it worthy of a forest or just a small grove? This week, in case you missed the thumbnail, we watched the 1988 movie Scrooged, an actual Christmas movie. Fuck you, Die Hard. I'm Jason. That is Nate.
Hi everybody. We watched Scrooged and uh you know, this is the first time I've watched this movie, Jason, and it was uh it was a choice.
Mm,
Uh
it was a choice.
and I guess before I get into how I feel about it, why don't you go ahead and tell our viewers at home what this movie is all about, even though you kind of already said it.
Yeah, it's basically a modern take on the Charles Dickens A Christmas Carol. And if I have to say more than that, then you probably don't want to watch this video anyway. So,
Sure. And to go a little bit further, it's Bill Murray is a TV executive. What, Frank?
Frank, yes. Cross, Frank Cross.
Yeah. And
Francis Xavier Cross.
and he is having a live production of Scrooge played on Christmas Eve.
Yes.
While that's happening, he is also having a Scrooge epiphany.
Yes, because what's happening is the day before Christmas Eve, that's when he fires his the Bobcat Goldthwait. That
Hmm.
he's a side character that's really, I think I don't know who he's supposed to be. I don't think he's one of the actual characters from the actual Christmas Carol movie. Like I don't think
No,
they
he's
just
I
picked him
think
up.
he'd be the Tiny Tim character or
Oh, they
something.
already have the Tiny Tim character that his assistant's little boy. That's Tiny Tim.
Oh,
Yeah,
Cratchit
Bob Cratchit. That would be his assistant, the female.
assistant.
Yeah, so it's just someone they added to add
Yeah.
something to it. So he gets visited, like you said, from his old friend Marley. I forgot the guy's name that played golf, and he said, "You're gonna change your way. You're gonna burn in hell, and you're gonna get visited by three ghosts. The first one at noon tomorrow. Tomorrow being Christmas Eve,
Hmm.
because
Yeah,
he's an asshole, a complete asshole."
he is. Which is very to me, I don't know why I feel like Bill Murray is just an asshole in general. Like I don't think that's acting. I think when he's nice is acting. Um, it's just the vibe I get from him. I don't know why. But the golf ball popping out of the back of the dude's head was something I didn't expect to see. The eyeball in the highball that he had was not expected.
Hmm.
The thing that was expected to me was when he got beaten up by the ghost of Christmas Present. I don't know why I've seen that scene before because I've never seen this movie, and I don't know why I've seen that particular scene, but I've seen it, and that's a lot of scene.
The fact you went straight to that part of the movie, which is one of my favorite parts, is a ghost of Christmas present who beats his ass. Does she look familiar to you at all? From any of
Yes.
the movies we reviewed?
Um, Student Bodies?
Almost. The other one,
Um,
the
uh,
most viewed one that we did not promote.
uh, Parallelogram?
Sure. Pandemonium.
That's it.
She's the one with the red hair where you said you've fallen back in love with redheads.
Yes.
That was her.
But I fall re in love with redheads.
Uh, I loved all of the 80s comic cameos. There were so many good comedians from back then.
Oh, okay. Yes. I'll tell you.
Like, it was what, 1988? So a lot of those stand-up comedians that were in this movie
Mhm.
had some good weight behind them.
They did. And and the thing is, I'm really sad at myself right now because there's some quotes and things that Bill Murray did during this movie that were just, I thought were funny. His expressions, certain things he said. I mean, I don't know how much of this was ad-libbed. There's a scene where he's in the sewer with
Hmm.
a certain person in that. And he said, "Why did he go to what's your name's place? She would have kept him."
Claudia?
Who?
Claudia?
Claire.
Claire.
She goes, "You'd be a better color, I could tell you that." I
Right.
mean, I don't know if that was ad-libbed or if that was in the script, because little things like that I found very humorous. And there's other parts that made me want to. I actually laughed out loud a couple times. And I've seen this movie a few times, and I've never really been a big fan of it.
You know, I guess I might be played out of A Christmas Carol. Or I don't know why. It it doesn't change. It's the same story. You just put new faces on it and it's the same thing. There's no like, oh, this could happen. It's I don't know, it's overplayed to me.
Yeah, I mean, there's only so many ways they can do it. They had the animated one with Jim Carrey.
Hmm.
It wasn't called Scrooged, was it? It was called a Christmas Carol, I think. And they make one every 3 years.
Yeah, and like even like a Muppet Christmas and
Oh, I love that one. We should have watched a Muppet Christmas Carol.
ugh.
It's the second best one ever.
I feel like I just don't like Christmas movies.
You-
Unless it's Arthur Christmas or A Violent Night, you can shove off.
So wait a minute. No, just so everyone knows that this movie was 100% Bill Murray. No, you got like, co-actors and co-stars or whatever. There was no co-stars. This was 80% Bill Murray. I
Hmm.
think he's in every scene except for the one where uh his assistant is son is getting dressed up like a Christmas tree. Or was he in that one too? Because they were looking at him. I
Nope.
don't think there was a scene he wasn't in it.
You're probably right. 80% of the movie, it's Bill Murray carrying the entire thing on his shoulders. Uh, I don't know. It felt too long. Felt way too long. And I know it was only what, an hour and 40 minutes.
If that, yeah.
And I kept checking, like, oh man, how much longer is this?
Well, if you know the story, you know which ghosts have to visit him in what order, so you should know how much longer is left. What do you
Yeah,
think of the first
that's
ghost?
hmm
I'm sorry, I'll let you finish your thought. Then,
no, I was just saying that helped. Knowing the cadence of the movie, I was like, because when I saw the Frozen dude, I was like, oh shit, they're rushing the Ghost of Christmas Future.
yeah,
I'm like, they're running short on time. They really rushed it. And then I was like, oh wait, that's not. They'll go like that dude actually died.
yeah. So, what do you think of the Ghost of Christmas Future? I mean, past. What do you think of his character? The way they portrayed all. I mean, the last one is portrayed the same in every damn one. The present one, that's portrayed differently, even though he's usually portrayed as a really big man, huge,
Yeah.
you know. But the Christmas past, what do you think of that portray of him being a taxi cab driver? Did you like that at all?
I loved that guy. I was like, oh my God, that guy is so freaking funny. And the excessive smoking in this movie, everybody was smoking. It was crazy.
And they weren't acting like they were smoking. They were smoking.
Yeah,
They know how to.
right. Um, the dude just, yeah, I can't describe how well it was. Oh,
Yes.
this movie gets a bump. He got so shocked the microphone popped off.
Because
But
of the nipples.
yes, and the woman in the censorship, how she just keeps getting injured every single time. And
That
it was really just beating a dead horse. And but yet it was still funny, even though it was like, oh yeah, I know that where that barrel's going. And then you just hear, "Ah!" It's like,
that was the first time I laughed out loud. Was when, and I've seen it before. It was funnier to me now than it usually was. Was, when he's talking to that lady right after the nipple thing, like you can't have the nipple. I don't see no nipples. And the guys turn around with the light pole, and he said, "Okay, look out!" And Bill Murray ducks, and it hits chick right in the face. She falls down, and they flip her over or whatever. And but I will tell you this: Bill Murray's girlfriend, Claire,
yes.
has to be the most patient, understanding, loving person ever because the way he treated her afterwards and yelled
Hmm.
at her like he did, and the way he treated other people around her, and she's like, it's okay, dude, it's not okay the way he was acting to that little boy, the way he's acting, yelling at her. No, after not dating her for 15 years, and she's still okay with the way he's acting. I
Ridiculous.
Yeah, it was.
Absolutely ridiculous. He was a straight up, straight up dickhead.
Mm.
In every sense of the way. He was an asshole, a prick, a douche, a cunt, if you will.
Well, see, that's the Scrooge thing was, he is a Scrooge, which, by the way, for people who don't know, Scrooge was not used for a human being that was against Christmas until uh, Christmas Carol was made. It wasn't like they said Scrooge prior to that.
It almost sounds like something that would be the more you know.
Well, now I'm going to cut that part out and put that right there. But gotta find a good stopping spot before I said all that. But anyway, Scrooge, he at least usually they give a good backstory why he's an asshole. This
Mhm.
one was really not a good backstory to why
No.
he's an asshole. He personally became an asshole just because he was. Nothing really
He
bad
didn't
happened to him.
he got 5 pounds of veal for Christmas.
Bill, yes.
Venison?
Bill, yeah.
Yeah. Like apparently that's a lot of money.
And his Christmas, like, yeah, I mean, it's like you said, it's kind of a run out story. I just wondering how you thought about how they did the Christmas ghost because the very last one was the same as usual.
Well, I did like the last one because they brought TV into it.
Mm.
The Ghost of Christmas future.
The story actually says a Christmas yet to come, but they've changed it to the future in the last 100 years.
Um, it's a TV, so it felt very VH1 80s or
Mm.
MTV, and I liked how they showed showed how like through the TV with the camera, and then it like force projected.
Hmm.
Uh, Also, some of the CGI was really great too. Like
It wasn't bad at all.
when they open the chest of the future, and you
Yeah.
got these like goblin demon guys just jamming around in there. Like,
There's a reason for those, and for those that know, put it down in the comments because you'll know what those that little girl, that little boy is supposed to be underneath that ghost veil. So I did like how he did the hand through the glass up at the very beginning
yeah,
that was good CGI or whatever they used.
yeah. And then it was bad CGI, but still really good for the time. When the taxi cab driver just popped his head through the door and just started laughing at him.
That was pretty bad. And it was probably bad for the time. I think I remember watching that at the time. So, what did you think at the very end when he actually started talking to the camera, to the audience?
Um,
Some time later.
it's hard because he's a terrorist. He's holding these people hostage with the sociopath drunk that he fired and then rehired, yielding a shotgun, telling them not to freaking take him off. Like he hijacked the studio.
No, I'm talking about like when he's actually talking to us. He's breaking the fourth
Yeah,
wall. Okay.
that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
That whole part, like it's terror.
the
He's he's
sexual
broad.
assault that happened during that movie, that show, where the lady jumps on the guy and kisses him. He don't want to be kissed. He's tied up to the chair.
Yep.
Yep.
And then he gets kissed twice, and his woman that he loves or whatever saw him kiss this other woman, and that was a freaking kiss. Like it wasn't a peck. They had a good kiss. It was like a wedding kiss.
Hmm.
And like, come on now. I don't know. It was weird. He made some choice words and decisions. And then of course the kid talks. And
Hmm.
everybody's like, oh,
Yeah. God bless us, everyone. That's so corny now, but it's sweet. What are you gonna do?
I
Well,
guess we could hear from the audience.
yeah, we're gonna do the 5-star and 1-star reviews now. The first 5-star review comes from Caleb A. In my opinion, the best, funniest Christmas movie of all time, and by far the best Scrooge adaptation. Adaptation. It is a must-watch for my family around the holiday season. If you're looking for a unique take on this classic Scrooge story that is filled with fun laughs and heart, this is a perfect movie.
I never thought about ranking my favorite Scrooged adaptations. What was that?
There's a lot of them.
Is there?
Oh God, I've seen, I think, all of them. I love this story.
uh, but he brings up some good points. I don't recall what they are, but uh, the the first 1 star or less comes from Donna R. Wow, this is horrible. Not funny and not heartfelt either. Bill Murray really phoned it in. The whole production was misbegotten. Go read Roger Ebert's review, which really nails it. If you think nonstop spite and unconvincing reformation at the end of at the end are entertaining, go for it.
That review is smarter than me.
It really went into it, right?
I don't know what reformation means, so
Reformation.
reformation, and the production was misbegotten. I've not heard that word in ever.
That's a That's a big bonus word on Scrabble, I'm sure.
Oh, Donna, way to go. The last 5-star review. Brendan J. I love how this movie is darker version of the and different story, but still have that Christmas Carol feeling. And Bill Murray is great in here, which he was so mean, but he plays it so well. Plus, the ending made me cry. So Scrooge is a Christmas classic to watch. Hey, Nate said that he don't think Bill Murray's acting when he's being an ass, so maybe that's why it was so believable.
I think that's just him being him. So I will say when he actually cries, pretty impressive.
Oh, it was. It was. Seeing his,
I Yeah, it was pretty impressive.
oh, I'll tell you right now, if I went back in time and I saw my mom, I'd cry. But I lost her, 10 years ago, so
Hmm.
I have a right to fuckers.
Well, that escalated quickly. The last 1 star or less comes from unknown. I was really expecting a very funny movie with Bill Murray. Something was definitely off with him in this production. Johansson, the taxi driver, was an exception to the dreary movie. Pass on this one.
It's weird though. I just think about this now. Bill Murray, comedic actor. Christmas Carol, not a comedy. So
Yeah,
maybe
it
it
was.
didn't cross over that well.
I mean, it was loaded with comedians.
It was. So the WTF is from Jeremy, which gave this movie 2 stars. Rating categories: character 3 out of 10, cinematography 7 out of 10, plot 2.5 out of 10, acting 3.5 out of 10, pacing 3 out of 10, 38%.
Is
These,
that 2 star? Is that how it breaks down?
I, yeah, it does because that would be 40%. I think 20 to 24, 24 less is 1 star. I think.
But
But the plot, you gave the plot 2.5 out of 10. I mean, the idea behind this movie is freaking amazing from 200 years ago, whatever.
I would
Chris, that's a lot.
probably like this movie more if Bill Murray was not the lead. I don't know who you put in the place of him for like who was the main actors in the 80s. Like Chevy Chase would have been a big name or a big get at that point.
Steve Martin,
Steve Martin would be brilliant.
Martin
Martin
Short.
Short.
Yeah, Martin Short probably missed.
I think he would have really sucked at it. I think it would have been worse. I like Martin Short, don't get me wrong, but he swings for he's like Nicolas Cage. He swings for it.
Yeah, probably somebody that is a good actor but has good comedic timing. What's the British guy from Monty Python?
Oh,
John Cleese.
yeah.
I think I think he'd been perfect.
I do enjoy John Cleese.
Well, now let's move on to the scores Rotten Tomatoes and the audience gave this. Rotten Tomatoes scores this at a high 71%, while the audience, which is you, also scores this at 71%.
Oh my goodness. Really?
Really. We've had them close, but I don't think we've had them identical before.
No, that's surprising.
So now let's talk about what we think. So this is Scrooge. It is a Christmas Carol from Charles Dickens. I have seen probably a dozen different Christmas carols. If I were going to rate them, this does not rate my top five because I do like the actual story. I like it when it follows the book. The Muppet one's great. The one made by George C. Scott in '84 was excellent. The one '69 by Rufus, my point is, those were great. Even Ghost of My Girlfriend's Past with with McConaughey, which is basically ripped off of this movie. is a better movie. I would not recommend it to my surgeon because I'm sure he's seen 1,000 different type of movies like this. It does get half a stump or a stump because of the nipples. Bill Murray's Bill Murray. Um, it had some pacing issues, and I'm gonna have to just give it a solid 2 stumps. Sorry, 2 trees.
So one tree, but I get it.
Now it's my turn.
The movie was pretty good. It was better than I expected. I felt like it took too long to get to the point. I didn't need all the, the trailers and the gave a woman a heart attack and this and whatever. I didn't need all that backstory. It didn't need to be there, and that could have all been trimmed down and cleaned. I would recommend this to my surgeon if he is a fan of Scrooged movies. I am happy that I've watched it. I will never need to watch it again. Uh, However, with that being said, I was originally going to give this 2 trees and a stump, but it gets the bump, so it is a 3-tree movie from me.
Well, you have heard it here first. Nate gives it 3 trees. I give it 2 trees. But what do you give it? Let us know what you think. Please leave a comment, like, subscribe, share. Let us know what you want to see on this channel so we can bring it to you. And we will see you next Monday on Trees in Space.
What?